This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, officially call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Item A under clerks, village board regular minutes. Hope we've all had a chance to read them.
So second.
Any comments on them?
I don't think I was the one that said that construction was going to be delayed, so not that it makes any big deal.
I don't know, I'll re-listen to it.
Okay. Maybe I did, but I don't know why I would say that.
Could be my mistake, I will.
So we will approve the minutes with the
Yes.
caveat that you will check and make sure that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we have a request from Bambi at the library to use Mids Park as a backup for an event they're holding on September 30th between 10 and 11. You've all had a chance to read that. It's basically geared towards homeschool families, but free and open to the public. And once again, that's only in the event of inclement weather. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second. And any questions?
So this might be a moot point, but don't we have a policy about no advertisements or anything?
Advertisements?
Like hanging anything? I don't think they're gonna do anything.
This isn't, for them, my understanding isn't to sell anything. This is,
It's just after 12 years of Mayor Randall ensuring that none of these things.
I don't expect any advertisements to be hung there, just a
no.
library event.
Okay. Just to read back too.
Exactly.
Good. Okay.
PTSD.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we also have, Bill with us, Songs on Mirror Lake, which was unable to happen last year due to COVID, and requesting the normal events that he has starting in 2022. You all have them in front of you. I can read them if you like, but it's all the same signage and banners and requests.
So second.
Any questions on it?
We had songs this year.
We have some, it was modified.
Yeah, we just didn't get there. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Bill, for putting those on year after year. Nice asset to the community.
Thanks, and thanks for your support. And I did get a hold of Brad. He met me down at Mids Park. We went over some improvements and maintenance that can be done. He said he's going to get right into it. So it's all good.
Okay. Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, and we also have an item that was tabled last meeting for a board candidate for the review board, Peter Althatiers. Come even close.
Elevators.
Althatiers.
Elevators. Sounds good to me.
Mostly not. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Everyone's had a chance to read his background. He sounds very capable. Nice addition. All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else under clerk items?
Nope, that's all.
Okay, and warrant affidavit number 3. Jackie, I'm sure you looked it over. Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to accept affidavit number 3? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then there isn't an item B, but
No, but just to let everyone know that the BOP audit is in your mailbox. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I also told Art that AUD is done. I have one hiccup that I'm waiting for OSC to call me back and let me know how to proceed. We had some debt that was on the books and off the books within the same year. It doesn't show up anywhere except for where it paid it out. So just trying to make sure it's posted in the right spot. So as soon as that's finished, everybody will get back on.
Okay, anything else under treasurer? Okay. Anything under new business? Going once, going twice, okay. Under old business, I put on here about the public forum on local cannabis sales. There was a meeting today to try to organize this a little bit better. On September 29th at 5 o'clock. We were hoping to have help me out, it's not a Zoom meeting for us old.
Go-to meeting.
Go-to meeting. That's currently being talked about. We have a attorney from the Associations of Towns and Villages, Sarah Braun Cortella, that will be there. We're trying to work out the details, and we will be getting a press release out. I see Laura's on from the Lake Placid News. We'll be getting in touch with you probably by tomorrow. And we'll have a press release to get out and more details on it. But for now,
Sounds good.
okay, but for now, I think that's all we have to say. Let's see, anything else under old business?
Just a question, last week at the work session, Mike Orticelli brought up the fact about the drivers doing inspections. Where, it was unclear, I mean, he came to us to ask, what, can they get paid? I mean,
He brought it up, nothing more has been done on it since then.
okay,
This,
And it's not, I was confused at the time that it was vacation rental inspections. It's not, it's commercial assemblies.
right, yeah,
And that, I don't know where that went, but my understanding is they do have time. The way I was confusing that with the vacation rental
Okay.
inspections, and that was the one where originally the intention was that that would be a paid addition, but for the assemblages, that's something the fire department says they can take on without a problem.
okay.
but this is something that's been in discussion for
Which one?
years. The having a fire department support code enforcement with inspections.
Last year, they got certified to do it, and conversation on paying them for each one of the inspections that they did. Mike wanted them to get paid for it. But the conversation was, do we do it by the hour? Do we do it by the job? Do we do it by the size of the job? Who pays them? Are they doing it on our time? Are they doing it off our time? Because if they're in the middle of an inspection on our time, then they have to run to a fire. They have to have access. That way, last we had discussed finance-wise, it was gonna come out of Mike's office. And we thought maybe by the size of the job might be the best route to go, if that was something the board wanted to do.
Well, did Mike feel that because we haven't settled this, that he's not asking them to do any inspections? I mean, they've done some inspections, but they haven't been paid for them. I mean, I guess we just need to settle it, one way or the other, right? That's what it sounds like.
So write this down, and I'll come back 6 months from now.
Well, discussion, there was a discussion.
Isn't it an issue too under the collective bargaining agreement?
Yes, that was why they would get paid out of Mike's office. They couldn't get paid out of our office for that because it's not included as part of their wage scale.
Right, so we'd have to be, well, that's skinning the cat, but we'd have to be very clear on that.
Yeah, unless they do it after hours. So if they work till 2 o'clock and they want to do inspections until 5, working for the town, not for the village, then that's.
And I think that's the way we decided we have to go.
Seems the cleanest way,
I would think.
Well, Janet, what was the difference between some of the drivers who had mechanical ability working on fire trucks and getting paid for it? Yeah, Josh Favre, I mean, I
Well,
can,
that's written in the contract.
that is,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So there's.
No, I think it has to be not under our, no remuneration comes to them from the village and that they do it on their own time.
Yeah. And
I think we decided that to avoid any collective bargaining issues now or in the future.
Well, we've obviously spent the money to train them for it. Kind of seems silly not to.
Do we have to have an MOU or something to the effect, Janet? So it doesn't,
Well, if it comes under Mike's office, I mean, that's a code enforcement, and if they get paid out of the town, you know, they're doing side work.
Yeah, essentially they
Okay.
would become part-time town employees.
but they're not, they wouldn't be required.
And the town doesn't have a collective bargaining agreement for that kind of work, so that avoids that issue.
Mhm.
Okay. So
They
essentially
wouldn't
take-
have to join, in other words, they don't have to join any issue to be part-time, any union to be part-time town building code inspectors.
okay.
So should the board approve this at this point? Because that's Mike's question, and I know that's why Jackie's bringing it up. Mike wants to know, can this happen now?
Well, we don't have anything to say about it. I mean, we're not being asked to hire them. We're not being asked to appoint them. We're just saying if an employee of ours, whether they be in the fire department or any other department, wants to take on an additional work from another employer, we can't stop them doing it. I don't see what we're being asked to approve.
I got the gist from Justin that they were going to potentially do it when they're on duty and if they got pulled and they were
Right.
from a fire. So I think there's some confusion there. I think there may be a perception that they can do it while they're on duty. And if that seems to be running counter to what is probably in the best interest of
Well,
the
and
town.
Janet, correct me if I'm wrong, but that puts them out of their original scope of work. So they would be covered liability-wise if they got hurt while doing an inspection on our time.
That's correct. They wouldn't be covered under workers' comp for the village. And the other thing is if there was some allegation that their inspection was incomplete or didn't raise an issue that should have been raised, there's an opening of liability there that I didn't think the village wanted to take on. So, and plus the idea that if they're out on, if a paid driver it's during his or her shift, but they're out doing an inspection, it brought up the whole issue of, then you have to bring in the second driver and then they're late getting, I thought we wanted to avoid all of that.
Justin was saying that it only happens when they have two drivers there. So basically, they're on the block.
Yeah, well, and I think that would be a big issue. We're paying them for being at the firehouse and being on the job, and the town's paying them at the same time being out somewhere else. I think that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
So then this is actually then going back to the town.
It should, yeah.
Should go back to the town for their approval.
Yeah.
If the town would like to hire somebody to do this work, they can hire who they want, I guess who's qualified. But if they decide, and we can't tell one of our employees you can't do the work, other than you can't do it on our time.
But so far, all the inspections they have done were done on our time.
Well, I think that opens us up.
Well, otherwise they would have wanted to get paid a long time ago because they were already paid by the village.
Well, then somebody let the horse out of the barn before this was approved. I mean, I think they went to school and got their approvals, but the whole way it was going to be handled and the system was never approved, and somebody jumped the gun.
So you're saying it's okay if they're not punched in the village, or?
That would be my recommendation. I don't see how we can pay somebody when they're not there and they're doing something else and getting paid.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that was like the prison guards years ago, remember? They were having somebody else sub for them and they were out doing another job. This is the same thing, only worse because they don't have somebody subbing for them. They're getting paid and they're out doing some other job. And if there was ever an issue with somebody saying, well, you didn't get to my house fast enough with the fire truck because your guy was out doing something else while he was supposed to be on the job and you knew about it. I think that's opening us up to a problem. I think if they're on our dime and they're out doing an inspection and something happens and somebody alleges, well, your inspector should have known about this and cited it and done something, and then we wouldn't have had this problem. That opens us up because they're our employee. I just think it's much cleaner. They want to do work on their own time and deal with, go through the town's employment practices. That's the cleaner way for us.
Just something back to Jackie's point, we paid for them to go to school for inspection.
Well, you know, we support that building code office. So we can always say this was our support of that office.
Okay.
Who's going to relay that to?
I'll take care of it. Okay. Okay, anything else under old business? Under mayor items, you may have seen on August 28th, the volunteer fire department had a picnic. They normally have their gathering in May, and due to the pandemic, they haven't been able to do that for 2 years. What they awarded there were their service pins, and there was one person who got a 5-year pin, which was Bob Janowski. There were 2 people that got 15-year pins, which were Chip Draper and Tyler Preston. There were 4 people that were 20 years, Bobby Bell, Ryan St. Louis, John Fagan, Ken Myhill, and a 30-year pin to Karen Fountain. Also in the 2021 awards were the top responding firefighter, and that was Brooke Perry's. If you remember, we just approved here not long ago. She hasn't been on the job that long, and she responded to 105 calls. Yeah, you think about that out of 365 days, it's quite a few times. Top responding fire police was Jim Lawson, 151 calls. And the top responding officer was Mike St. Louis at 117. And I think the slate of officers may already be out there, but I'll read them really quickly. Is the chief, Mike St. Louis, first assistant chief, Tori Hoffman, second assistant chief, Adam Marshall, captain Josh Pelkey, second captain, Jen Marshall, third captain, Ryan St. Louis, fourth captain, Aaron Barney. And of course, the secretary treasurer is Karen Fountain, and deputy secretary treasurer is Van Colby, and collector is Bill Elliott. Just wanted
Karen's name doesn't change often. I don't think that's one of the positions that are.
She's got her 30-year pin. She's been there a long time.
There's been a competition for that one.
You know, I think we just want to thank all of them for their service. We're very lucky to have people volunteer and take on such an important role in the village. And Lauren, if you want me to, I'd be happy to get this to you.
That'd be
Okay.
great. Thank you.
Okay, I'll get that to Anita and have her get it to you. Okay, commissioner reports. Oh, actually, one more thing before we jump into commissioner reports. I sent this around to the board that we had a request from a Richard Hamilton. He looks like he's looking to do something for Jeff Falmer's memory. They've raised money already and they're looking to do a water ski school for children. They want to have a competition, and the school seems like it's going to be up on Lake Placid Lake, but they're talking about possibly having their competition on Mirror Lake. He has not reached out to me yet, but I did just send this around to the board. If anyone wants to give me any public comment here that I can relay back when October 2nd comes around.
I love the idea, but it didn't go over that well the last time. So maybe Mirror Lake class would probably be better.
I agree. Mirror Lake was not a good choice.
Mark?
Yeah, shorelines and that sort of thing that are on Mirror Lake aren't designed for fast motorized travel. just doesn't work.
You said you lost some of your shoreline.
Yeah, we lost about half of the sand on our shoreline after the last competition.
How about you, Jackie? Do you want to chime in
Uh,
with what he said?
Yep, exactly. I'm gonna have to defer to Mark and the rest. It's fine.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
It was an entertaining idea at first, the execution and then the afterwards.
So I think it should also be remembered that the way the shoreline is presently set up in Mids Park with the rock wall is much different than the way it was back when they had water ski tournaments. It was much easier to get into the water there. Now it's a whole different shoreline. It's the rocks.
and if I'm not mistaken, when the tournament was here, one of the things they didn't like about it was the wave bounce back that went back through the course when the person would make a second pass. So and then I remember Jason and Peter, you two were the one on the council to see if it would come back the second year, and the answer was no. So I really can't see us entertaining this, but I did want to bring it up to you and let you have your chance before I talk to them.
Great idea of keeping the lake placid.
Okay, I'll pass that along. Okay, now we move into commissioner reports. I did sit in on a construction meeting this morning. Things are going well. There wasn't a lot to bring up since construction had just started. It's just like we said before, they will be starting, if you've noticed, the trench work has started. The 24-inch pipes that you can see sitting out in front of the Dancing Bear, they're already where you can see where the blacktop has been torn up. They're already in the ground. The structures that will receive that water are there. The way this is going to work is that the water pipe, the surface water pipe will go down the west side of the street, and any drains that are on the east side will come over and dump into that. So there won't be pipes down both sides. So as they go along, they are going to be diverted, like they'll finish the pipe on the west side, and then they'll divert the traffic in almost like an S fashion, so that they can go over and work on the structure and the drain on the east side. And they're waiting on the group to put in the curbing, because those people are going to work so fast, they're going to catch up to the structure people. So that's probably going to start happening next week. And you've also noticed that the laterals that they're tying in on the water line, I think I'm the one that reported before that it was mostly going to be at the south end of the street. There were some places that due to scheduling they could not get to, such as smoke signals and Marcy Street. So those have been tied in now. So that's why you're haphazardly seeing a bunch of places, but then they're going to focus at the south end. So work is going along as scheduled. As soon as they can get the curbing in, then the subcontract that's doing the granite work will come back in. I've also heard some talk that granite they think they're going to be able to keep up. So they may not be stopping at Mids Park. And it was also mentioned in this meeting that it's all weather dependent. If it turns cold in October and snows 2 feet, it could change the whole complexion of this. So let's hope we get really good weather, then go right through Thanksgiving.
What is their stopping date regardless?
I think it's Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And when I asked that question and said, what if we get another month of good weather? I was told it's hunting season. You won't find anyone to work anyway.
Buddy, I missed the meeting, as you know. Are they doing the curbing on the lakeside as well? On the east
So
side?
the whole idea is to start down the west side,
Yeah. but are they-
do the trench work, do the curbing, and then do the granite. And then that group will jump back and start and go down the east side. And before they were delayed a week, they were talking September for the west side, then going over in October and doing the lakeside. That's still the plan, I believe.
We're looking to get all the way up to the MBT lot by, on the west side.
Once again, it's all weather dependent, what they find, but yes.
So again, the sidewalk most likely will be completed up until the theater for the film festival. That seems to be reasonable because that's a short distance between.
They're going to be starting at the Dancing Bear and working down.
That's 2 weeks away.
You think so? Okay,
You know, the week that they were delayed getting here, and then
okay,
do our best.
yes.
I'm sure that, you know, something temporary can be put in there, or, you know, it really isn't possible to jump down and do there and then try to tie the two together and have cuts and all, but they're doing their best.
Mhm.
And also, I guess they are going to continue the brickwork. The black bricks that are going up Saranac Avenue, where they stopped in front of the old Charlie Walsh house. They are going to continue that to the intersection across from the Catholic Church. It's just a matter of, sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Has there been any decision about going up Olympic Drive? Are we doing that? Because there was conversation.
Still in the works. So
That, the film festival is October 20th is the date, so it should be done. by-
Yeah, then you got to probably.
I thought it was later. But I don't question Peter.
Question is, will they have the other side of the street though? I can't think of anything else under commissioner reports unless you guys have something. Okay, public comment. Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay, with no more comments and nothing else to come on the agenda, I would like a motion to adjourn.
Any press questions? I don't know.
I asked.
Oh, okay.
Lauren, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay, didn't want to miss you. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Adjourned. Thank you very much for your time.